Are you experiencing debilitating sciatic pain? Maybe you're experiencing pain that's going down the back of your leg or it's in your hip, and you just can't figure out what's going on. You've tried different exercises, you've spoken with your doctor, and the only option that they're giving you is pain medication. Well, if that's you, and if you're looking for a holistic solution that actually works, then stick around for this video. My name is Jenna. I am a movement and I'm a chronic pain coach. I've been helping clients for over 20 years to get out of pain and to get back to doing the things that they love to do. So if that sounds good to you, then let's get started. And please like and subscribe to the channel so that I can continue to pump out these videos every week. So let's talk about why you may be experiencing sciatic pain. So there are two main reasons why you would be having this nerve pain. The sciatic nerve goes through your spine, it goes down the center of your glute, and then down the back of your leg. So some clients have come into me and said to me, I'm having sciatica, and I ask them, where is the pain? They point to the front, they point to the side. That's a different nerve that's coming from maybe a different area in your hip, possibly from your spine. But when we're talking about sciatica, it's a pain that goes, typically radiates from the back, could be in the hip, glute, down the back of the leg. It could be causing numbness, tingling, or weakness in the leg and in the lower leg as well. You could also be experiencing numbness or tingling in your foot. So the props that we're going to be using today are either a ball or a block. You want something that you can place between your knees to squeeze. If you happen to have a magic circle around, that would be even better. If you want to get one of these, I will put it down in the description box and link it below. We're also going to be using a TheraBand. Here are some options. This is a regular TheraBand. You can use this to tie around your legs. This is a loop. This will work as well. Best option, it's called the Hip and Core Band. I will link this in the description below. In a small number of folks, the sciatic nerve actually travels right through the piriformis. I'll put a picture of that up here for you to see. So if that's you, I'm sorry, but unfortunately, you're going to be more prone to having this condition. It doesn't mean you have to have it, but it means that if that muscle's tight, it's going to be more likely it's going to be pinching that nerve. Even if you don't have that going on, the sciatic nerve still travels right underneath the piriformis. And so if that muscle is tight, which for a lot of folks it is, that could be compressing on the nerve. So if you sit a lot at a desk throughout the day, if you do a lot of driving, you'll be literally putting pressure directly on that nerve, and that muscle can get short and tight because of all of that sitting, which can lead to compression on the nerve. Now, if it's coming from your piriformis, that can actually be good news because typically that's pretty easy to resolve once you do the right recipe of exercises, which is exactly what we're going to talk about today. So if it is coming from your spine, then that could be coming from a herniated disc in your back or from the nerve root itself. The best way to figure that out is to see if your doctor will give you an MRI. But if not, you can still try these exercises and they should be helpful for you. The main goal for you would be to stabilize the spine, to allow the nerve to heal, and to take the compression off of your back through doing some core strengthening exercises. So we're going to talk all about that in a moment. Now let's talk a minute about what you want to avoid doing. So if you are having this pain that's going either from your hip or down your leg and it's feeling really tight in the back of your leg, the tendency would be to want to stretch the hamstring, but that's what you don't want to do because by stretching the hamstring, you're also stretching the nerve, which could in turn make your symptoms worse. It could also put more pressure and tension on your spine. So we want to avoid stretching the hamstring to alleviate the pain, but we want to get to the source of the pain and figure out what's going on. So let's go ahead and come down onto our mat and grab your props. Okay guys, so go ahead and come down onto your back. So I'm going to start by using this magic circle. And as I said before, you don't need one of these, but it is a really great prop. So it could be something to consider getting. All you need is like a block, a ball, something to squeeze between your knees. If you don't have anything like that, just use a pillow. I'm sure you have something laying around that would work where you don't have to purchase one of these. So we're going to start with adductor squeezes. As you're doing these, you want to feel your hips nice and heavy on both sides. So you could bring your hands to your hip bones. Feel the pelvis staying nice and steady. I'm going to take a deep breath in. On my exhale, I start to squeeze. And as I'm doing that, I want to think about cinching front to back like I'm wearing a tight corset around my torso. I'll inhale to release. Exhale to squeeze the ring. Cinch the torso. Inhale, release. Exhale to squeeze. Feel that cinching, wrapping front to back. Keep that going. Inhale. Exhale. See if you can really breathe into your ribs on your inhale. This is a pretty easy exercise, so you can focus on the breath on the inhale, expanding wide through your ribs, and on the exhale, the squeeze. Feeling your inner thighs working. So this works with a concept called reciprocal inhibition, and that basically means when I activate one set of muscles, the opposing set of muscles is going to turn off. So in this case, I'm activating my adductors, and guess what? I'm turning off the piriformis. So that's why we're doing these. And a lot of people have weak adductors, so it makes sense that that muscle isn't really getting turned off. Okay, go ahead and take a little break. You can shake the legs out if you would like, and that's our first exercise. Okay, so now we want to talk about strengthening the glutes. So the piriformis is one of your 6 deep hip rotators. I'll pop a picture up here of what that looks like. And we have those 6 muscles. If you're laying on your side, those muscles go like this, a band around the hip, okay? And my piriformis, you could do this on your own hip, would be my middle finger. So that's kind of about where it is, okay? So it's just gonna be nice to identify that muscle to know what's going on there and which muscle is involved in sciatica. So what we're gonna do is an exercise to engage the other muscles in our glutes, the glute max, some of the other hip rotator muscles, to allow that piriformis to relax, because if it's tight and overworking, we want to see if we can get it to let go. We can stretch it too, and we're also going to do that as well, but this is another way to work with this, okay? So what I like to do is take this magic circle and place it around my legs. You don't have to use a magic circle. You can use your TheraBand. It's just something you can tie around your legs that you could press out, okay? So now what this is doing is it's activating the glute medius on the side of the hip. And when we start to activate that muscle, it can really help the piriformis to relax. Okay, so what we're doing now is just pushing out and in. And you may just want to stay with this exercise. So the next one I'm going to do, I'm going to change my prop to a ball. Now you don't have to use a ball if you were using a block before, just use the block, just something to hold between your knees so that your knees can be about hip distance apart. So the next one I'm going to do, I'm going to change my prop to a ball. Now you don't have to use a ball if you were using a block before, just use the block, just something to hold between your knees so that your knees can be about hip distance apart. From there, I'm going to bring my hands behind my head. As I exhale, I'm going to lift the head and shoulders, look at my belly button and lower down. So I'm doing this exercise to turn my abdominal muscles on. So as I'm coming up, I want to think about this wrapping front to back, cinching my abdominals in towards my spine. And I also want to think about maintaining a neutral spine. So I'm feeling that wrapping front to back, but I'm not pushing my back down. So these exercises we're doing in a neutral spine, because if the nerve is being pinched in your spine, you don't want to be doing a lot of movement there. That's just going to make that compression worse. So we want to stay neutral in the back, like you have a little blueberry under your back that you don't want to crush. And just lift and lower a few more times like that with your breath. I'm just gently holding that ball between my knees because I'm still engaging my adductors here, but now I'm also engaging my abdominals. So I have this nice support here wrapping around my spine. Let's do one more like that. Very good. Nice. So from there, go ahead and roll onto your side. So as I mentioned earlier, the piriformis muscle is in the middle of your glute. What we're going to try now is activating some of the lower, deeper hip rotators, and I'm going to show you how to find those muscles. So you're going to bring your fingers to your sitting bone area, the bone that you sit on. And when I lift my knee, you should start to feel that muscle engaging and firing and kind of popping up into your fingers. Just do a couple, seeing if you can feel that muscle working. And we want to make sure that we're lifting the leg from there. Otherwise, we're just going to keep working the piriformis even more. But if we can get some of those deeper hip rotators to work, like the obturator internus, the gemellus, then that will really help the piriformis to not have to work so hard. It'll help that muscle to shut off. So this is the approach we're taking right now, is how can we get some of the supporting muscles to do their job and to kick in and start to activate and turn on so that these tight overworking muscles can begin to relax and turn off. From there, you're going to go ahead and straighten your leg, and now we're going to strengthen a muscle called the glute medius. And that muscle is on the side of the hip, a really important stabilizing muscle that has to do with the hip. If you do have sciatica coming from compression in your piriformis, this is going to be another really helpful exercise for you. And if it's coming from your spine, then this exercise isn't probably going to hurt anything and might as well strengthen the glutes as well. You also want to think about you're not arching your back, so you want to draw your abdominal wall in and make sure here that you are keeping your back long. So we want to do about 10 total of these exercises, so that was about 10 there. I'm going to bring the knee down and take a little rest. Okay, so how are you feeling so far? You want to check in with your body and listen to your body. If something is not feeling good, then definitely omit it. There is not one set of exercises that's going to work for everybody. Each individual needs a more personalized plan. So this is just giving you an idea of exercises you can do. And what I found is that these exercises generally help for most people that are experiencing this pain, but always listen to your body and trust your own inner guidance because your body knows best. So we're doing our clamshells on the other side. You want to place your hand on your sitting bone area. My heels are lined up with my sitting bones. And I want to kind of imagine that area around my sitting bone, it's like a door hinge. My knee's the door. So I'm thinking about lifting my leg from that area. That's where I'm hinging from. That will help to activate those smaller, deeper, stabilizing muscles of the hip. Okay, so we've got one more here for 10. We're going to straighten that leg, draw the ribs in, draw the abdominal wall in. You're going to exhale to lift, inhale to lower, exhale to lift, Inhale to lower. And I'm just keeping my top hip right over that bottom hip, making sure to keep my knees straight and to reach the energy out the heel. Good. Let's do 3 more like that with the breath. Exhale, lift. Inhale, lower. Very nice. All right. And that was it. So now we're going to stretch the piriformis. You're going to go ahead and lay down on your back. Cross your right ankle over your left knee for a figure 4 stretch. Hug the knees into your chest and take a couple long, deep breaths here. And relaxing your nervous system is just as important as relaxing those tight, overworking muscles. So that's why we combine the breath with the movement in this mind-body exercise so that we are relaxing the nervous system and restoring balance as we are working also on these muscles. Just a few long, deep breaths here. Very good. Let's go ahead and release that stretch. So that was to stretch the piriformis. Another stretch you can try is bringing your knee towards your chest and then crossing the leg over your midline. Now what I want to avoid doing here is going into a big spinal twist. If you have a pinched nerve in your spine, that is not a good one for you. So instead I keep my hips grounded in the mat and I'm just crossing my leg over my midline until I feel a stretch in my glute. So some people feel a better stretch doing it this way versus the figure 4 stretch. So if that's you, then go ahead and do this one. Okay, so very nice. Now we're going to move into another core exercise. We'll go ahead and bring the legs to a tabletop position. Hug your ribs in, hug your abdominals in towards your spine. Take a deep breath in. As you exhale, tap the right toes down. Back up to tabletop, tap the left toes down and lift. So I have my hands kind of on my lower ribs and I'm just kind of feeling and noticing, is anything changing as my leg is going down? Are my ribs popping up into my hands or are they staying connected to my spine? We want to keep that spinal stability so that we can create space for that nerve, that sciatic nerve that travels through the spine. And that's why we want to monitor the stability of our back as we're doing these ones. Good. So go ahead and take a little break and you can bring your legs down. You can shake your legs out a little bit and see how that feels. We're going to go ahead and come on up from there. Roll yourself up and make your way onto your hands and knees. We're going to do some more spinal stability work here. So you're going to set up your position with your hands under your shoulders, your knees under your hips, and your tailbone is lifting towards the ceiling. The back of my neck is long. My abdominal wall is pulling in. Take a deep breath in. As I exhale, I'm going to slowly extend the right leg back and the left fingertips forward. So this is the beginning. This is the prep of bird dog. Some of you may know that exercise. And this is how I like to start working with clients on this exercise because this is a really nice way to practice stabilizing your spine as the arm and leg are reaching away from your center. So I would make sure to practice this one, keeping the hips steady, shoulders steady before you move on. And when you're ready to move on, we're going to lift the right leg up, the left leg up, bring the toes down and hand down, and switch. And bring it down. We're feeling this connection, that cross from the right hip to the left shoulder. Those are your obliques that help to stabilize the hip and shoulder connection. We're going to do the last time with the left leg extending back and the right arm reaching forward. Good. We're going to come back through center. So that exercise helps to strengthen your back, also to strengthen your core, and to work on your spinal stability. So those are the exercises that I would try doing for now, which is to strengthen your core. I gave you a couple exercises for that. We did this one called the chest lift. We also did the heel taps. We also did some exercises to strengthen your adductors where you're squeezing into that block or that ball. I was using a magic circle. And then we did some exercises where you were strengthening those rotators of your hips. So you're on your side, doing your clamshell, doing the side leg lift. And then we worked on some exercises to stabilize your spine in a position that is a little bit more functional where you're on hands and knees. And that was the bird dog exercise. So let me know how those exercises went for you today, and if you would like some more support with this so that we can map out an individualized plan for you that is based on exactly what you have going on, then please reach out to me. The link is in the description box below, and I will see you in next week's video. Take care.